Hi, my name is Waleska from LCH, Health and Community Services. Yo soy trabajadora de casos. No. Um, Today we are commemorating Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Um, with me is Maria from the BCC. Hi, Maria.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Today, we would like to talk about teen dating violence awareness. Okay. Do you know that February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month? Today, we are going to be chatting about what teen dating violence might look like, some warning signs to be aware of, what to do if you think you, your children, or your friends might be in an unhealthy or abusive dating relationships. Okay. This conversation might be difficult to hear or bring up troubling memories. Remember, support is available. We
Mm,
are here to listen.
mm.
Okay. Um, if if it's a whole month dedicated to teen dating violence awareness, then it must to be real problem, right?
Mm.
uh, how many people does it affect, Maria?
So that's a great question. In the United States, 1 out of every 3 teenagers will experience some sort of abusive behavior from somebody that they are in a relationship with, which, if you think about it, 1 in 3, that is a huge number,
Yeah.
astronomical.
Wow. Well, does that means that in three teenager will experience violence?
So again, that's a great question. So not necessarily physical violence. Dating abuse can take different forms. So while dating abuse can include physical and sexual violence, it can also be verbal, psychological. Some other examples that it might look like. So being rude, like crude to your partner, insulting them, embarrassing or shaming them. Manipulation is huge. And in hand with manipulation is the control. Like we manipulate so we can control, and that's a toxic behavior, and we need to unlearn that, right? So we are also huge advocates, Waleska and myself, of making sure that you recognize if and when you need therapy and breaking that cycle because it's vital. But things like teasing, name calling can be regular parts of teenage dating. However, it
Mhm.
can easily escalate into horrific behaviors.
Yeah. How can you tell if a relationship might be unhealthy or abusive?
So first and foremost, number one, especially us like women, going with your gut. If it doesn't seem right, then it probably isn't, and you need to hear that instinct. I know we watch dating shows, reality TV shows, even shows like You, and while it looks cute on screen, it is not. And we need
Mhm.
to recognize those toxic and abusive behaviors and call them out for what they are. Number two, being on the lookout for red flags or warning signs. There was this huge thing on social media a few months back where everybody was talking about my toxic trait is or my red flags are, and we need to recognize them because they're important. These types of behavior usually show one person in the relationship trying to have some type of power and control over their partner. And sometimes these behaviors may seem like they're not a big deal, but they very much can escalate and escalate quickly. So, for example, embarrassing your partner in front of other people, there's no need for that, especially like having a conversation if and when you feel like your partner may have been wrong about something, correct that in private. You know,
Yeah, and you don't do that to your partner.
exactly because you're here to like work together and build each other up and not tear each other down, right?
Mhm.
What else can you think of, Waleska?
The jealousy that turns into
Yes.
anger or mean behaviors, right?
Yes, jealousy is huge, especially with DMs, hidden messages, hiding messages on Facebook, Instagram, putting people under different contact names, you name it. This generation, social media, the way cell phones have taken over our world is just very important.
Yeah. Also, when isolation from friends or family,
Yes.
um, when also unwanted physical or sexual contact, too, right?
Yeah. I
And
was
so many more, right?
So love bombing is also another one, right? Like when somebody shows you all this love, 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 all of front.
Mhm.
And in reality, they're doing that to get you all like, oh my gosh, they're such
Yeah,
a
with
great,
you.
yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so
Yeah.
in love. Granted, that part of a relationship is always great when it's genuine and real, but we love bombing is real, right? There's the facade that that's true. So,
Yeah. If you think your child might be in an unhealthy or abusive relationship, is there a good way to talk to them? What do you recommend?
so that can be really touchy really quickly,
Mm-hmm.
just because you're the parent, right, or the guardian, or their best friend, and you want to tell them about themselves and tell them, hey, like, I love you and I'm looking out for you. So I think that you can approach it from that point of view, but I do think it's very important to leave the nitty gritty, I guess, or like the depth of that conversation to a counselor, to a therapist, to somebody professional that is in this field, so that they can have that conversation and go into depth with them.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what are some of the community resources for you or your teen to use if someone is looking for help?
So it's a great question and a very, very important one. So number one, if it's very important to have a safety plan, that you might be in an unhealthy or an unsafe relationship. And so considering professional resources such as DVCCC, we have a 24-hour hotline, and it's there for that exact reason. And if you feel unsafe, please don't hesitate to call. LCH has pediatricians, and they have the BHC, so they'll be able to do from the medical perspective, but also the mental health perspective, because we have seen, especially within the last 10, 20, 30 years, that our medical and our physical go hand in hand with our mental, right? The physiological changes that happen in our body when depression, anxiety, fear is prevalent. And then school counselors also are a great resource. They have all of the hotlines. They have our information, LCH and EBCCC, to point you to. So school counselors are always going to be a great resource. And then lastly, a trusted friend or a family member. Your support system is going to be key in walking through this with you. I got to walk that alongside one of my best friends, and I couldn't be more grateful for having been able to do so. And so you really see the love that you have for one another when you're able to meet each other in crisis like that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think that it's very important that we keep the eye on the flags, right?
Mm.
And look for help. Okay. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Waleska.